you've got you're working with you.
Right.
Coach, let's talk about, for some that aren't aware of Coach Scott Ford, give us a little bit of background on yourself.
I just grew up in East Texas and played in a great high school program there at Marshall, which was a state championship program, so that kind of set the foundation. I never had any intention of playing football. I was a baseball kid growing up, and they inadvertently put me in junior high football, and they wouldn't let me get my schedule changed, and it kind of they told me I had to dress out or I was going to fail the class. So anyway, it all went from there, and ended up playing some college football at Sam Houston, North Texas. Got my first job at Cleveland as a receivers coach, and then after 3 years got a coordinator's job in Killeen, and then was a coordinator a year at Leander. I had a kid there named Paul Thompson that ended up quarterback in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Just a great kid. He was actually the starting quarterback the year they got beat by Boise.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Oh.
I was a little torn about it, trying to pull for him and Boise at the same time. But got my first head job at Los Fresnos, and then I've been, I guess, 10 years as a head football coach, and just feel blessed to be in a profession.
If somebody had to say, you can always tell a Scott Ford team, it's by what?
Oh, I would probably say the offense. The offense, we came in 2002, and I can remember our first staff meeting. Told them we're going to get in the gun, we're going to stay in it, we're going to live or die with it, we're married to it, we're not going under center. And I had a couple of guys on staff say, Coach, there's no way that you can be an exclusive gun team. And you look back, it's comical now because we may go back under center because now everybody else is in the gun and doing it. But we like to throw it around, and we want to be an exciting brand of football. So if we're known for any one thing, I think that would probably be it.
It's the just
and a risk taker. We like gambling. I want our kids to be confident and have a little swagger, and we don't like punting the football. So I think that brand is kind of what I'd like to be known for.
Are you going to be like that coach that doesn't kick a field goal or that doesn't punt? It's always, we're going to play 4 downs, and no matter what, I don't care if it's 4th and 10 or 4th and 1, we're still going to go for it?
Not to that extreme. I mean, the object is to win the game, and I still got to feed the family, so we're not going to be going for it on 4th and 27 very often. But within reason, yeah, we like to take calculated risk.
Now, a lot of guys, when they start their career, they don't normally get the opportunity to start right at 5A.
Mm-hmm.
You had that opportunity at Los Fresnos. You went up north. You've come back, and you're in a 3A program now. Is that something that, do you look at it differently and say, obviously football is football no matter what level you're playing at. But is that kind of like a regression for you? Is that a step down, or is that just one of the things that, hey, this is an opportunity and I'm taking it?
It's a new challenge, and it's an opportunity to coach at the 3A level, which is something that I've never done. But at the end of the day, it's a chance to build a program. It's a chance to hopefully look back 4 or 5 years from now and say, hey, we did it. We're as good as anybody, and look at our kids. They're fine young men. We're getting kids out and going to college. To me, coaching is about relationships. That's my 50 minutes. My best 50 minutes a day is the 50 minutes I get to spend with those football kids. And it doesn't matter if you're 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, or 5A. That was never relevant to me on any level.
Right.
I think that's something people look at. They may look at that as going down a notch. I don't. It's just an opportunity to come in and build and put the Pirates on the map.
How many demons from the previous Pirates are you dealing with? How many skeletons have come out of the closet since you opened that door and said, all right, let's get this program in order?
Closet or closets? Yeah, no vacancy. There's no vacancy sign up. No, seriously. We had the 3 UIL violations. We had to forfeit the 3 wins that we had to go to 0-10. So we had to present, the third one. I was there for that, and it was an extremely uncomfortable situation. It wasn't something that I was directly involved in, but had to deal with. So that I didn't like that, but there's a reason the job was open. Now, having said that, we did not have a freshman football team last year at all.
Wow.
And to my knowledge, our JV didn't win a game. So like I said, we have a chance to build something.
Right.
I mean, it's virtually from ground zero. And I know Coach Kirk made the comment that he left a Cadillac. Well,
that hoopty ain't running.
That hoopty. But anyway, no, the kids have been great, and they're excited, and they've been, pleased with the change, and they're working hard. We just have to raise standards, expectations, and just do little things right. And I guess the biggest thing from going to 5A to 3A is we have a lot of kids, multiple sport.
Right.
Off-season issues and things like that I'm going to try and get resolved. And, we're going to have a universal freshman athletic period. In the past, they could just choose a sport. Well, if they're going to be an athlete, they're going to be in the same athletic period when they're freshmen. And they're going to play 2 sports. So they're all going to do strength conditioning. They're all going to be on the same strength program. And then when they get to their sophomore year, if they want to choose a sport, that's okay. But we're going to have all those kids in there, and we're all going to work together as coaches to build a program. So I'm excited. It's a great challenge, but man, nothing worth having comes easy.
That's
so
true.
I'm up for it, and we got Jason Wheeler as our defensive coordinator. We got Gilbert Leal as our offensive coordinator. I'll put those two guys up against anybody in the Valley in the coordinator position. So I'm excited about the challenge.
That's something that I wanted to talk to you about. I'm no man to judge. Last perfect man I knew ended up on a cross. Gilbert Leal, considering what he's been through the last year, that's awfully big of you for you to say, hey, listen, I've got a spot. I want you to fill it. When a lot of people would say, I don't want to have this spotlight. I mean, I'm building a program from new. I know that he's going to draw a certain amount of attention. As gifted as he is, as good as he is as an OC,
right.
For you to come in and say, I'm going to give you a chance. That's mighty big of you.
Well, Gilbert and I sat down, and public perception and the facts are not always the same.
Okay.
The charge he had was dropped within 2 weeks. He has nothing on his record. I've known Gilbert for, I guess, 7-8 years, and I have a lot of respect for him as a coach, and I consider him a friend in the profession. And if he needs a second chance, I would be more than happy to give it to him.
Good.
And I feel like it says a lot about the people of Hidalgo, the school board, the superintendent. When I visited with them on this and explained to them how much I thought of Gilbert and the things he could bring to us, they welcomed him with open arms. So I feel like we hit a home run in getting him. I feel like we're the lucky ones. So excited about getting Coach Lee out on board.
That's good. And it's a shame that it wasn't brought out, to the public spotlight that, hey, listen, the charge was dropped within 2 weeks and this is something that's done and buried with.
Right. There's always other things going on, from a political side or whatnot. I don't want to get into that. But
right.
He's a good man. He made a mistake. He deserved a second chance, and we're going to give him one.
Good for you. Good for you. To err is human, but to forgive is divine. And that's something that, you got something to work with. Head coach Scott Ford of the Hidalgo Pirates joining us here in the Huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio. Don't forget, you can always log on to 956sports.com and replay the highlights. And if you're trying to get a little insight on Coach Ford and what it is that he's got to bring to the table, maybe this is your chance to start, going into it. I see that you got the blue and gold on, and even, that Under Armour looks like a little H there. Like you're representing 24/7.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm a proud Pirate, man. I am. So
good.
Yep.
Good. So he's making it roll and continuing that success.
Now, every year that I saw you as a coach, you had like a slogan for your teams. You had W4S when you were at Los Fresnos, and it was Wesco 4 Straight or Work 4 State. And
I had a feeling you were going to get that in.
Yeah, I was. It was great. But what do you have what do you have for the upcoming season or now? I don't even know if you've put something.
Well, I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I can pretty much tell you what it's going to be. It's going to be road builders. We need these kids to build roads that we don't need to travel the same roads that Hidalgo football's traveled in the past. We need to build new roads. So I need guys that are willing to build new roads and take this program somewhere where it's never been. So that in a nutshell is going to be our calling card and our motivational deal. And again, that's why I tell the kids I don't need guys to travel roads that are already there. I need guys willing to build roads that aren't there. So that's what we're rolling with.
How are they taken to you? How are they,
They've been great. They're doing a lot of things they've never done. They didn't lift weights during the football season at all, which philosophically I don't agree with. We're going to lift them 3 days a week during the football season. So right now we're inside 4 days a week getting after it, and we're running them 1 day a week on Wednesday. And I will say, I think our strength conditioning program is second to none. I really believe that. And if you ask the Springers and Mario Benavides, those kids that have gone off the D1 programs, they'll tell you, Coach, your weight program is really good. And so it's a brave new world for them. They're sore in places they've never been sore. They think that, we're about half crazy, that Coach is saying, there's something wrong with Coach Wheeler. But at the end of the day, you just can't be like everybody else. You got to be a little bit different. Right. But so we go through a good day, and then we kind of digress, and then we'll bounce back. And that's what, a program that's been kind of mediocre, that's what you're going to fight. And I tell them you got to embrace the grind. And you got to rejoice in the suffering because it is what it is. That's football. So, but the kids have been great. Their attitudes have been really good.
A lot of kids, when they would probably see is change, and they're like, hey, no, we're not. This is the way we do things, and there's 47 of us, and there's one of you, and there's no way that you can tell all 47 that we're going to lift weights 4 days a week, and we're not going to run on Wednesday.
Right.
I'm sure that's part of the culture that you're trying to change and get past that.
Yeah, that can happen if you're not careful. And that's one of the things I explained to the kids. We're all on this thing together. You know, it has to be a work of cooperation. Coaches and kids cooperating. It cannot be a work of competition where kids and coaches are competing against one another. You know, they do a little chant about who runs the ship, and I told them we're all in the ship, and if there's a hole in it, we all sink. So we've all got to pull the same direction and communicate, and if we have issues, we'll work them out. But I haven't sensed a lot of resistance and thus far. So
good.
Yeah. Good.
They're buying into the program, and it's coming in. Is it at the speed that you were expecting when you first said, you know what, by February 18th, I want to be at this spot? Yeah,
we've improved a lot since the first week. The first week was when you're teaching and trying to create tempo and technique and teaching the power clean. It can be a grind a little bit as a coach because I don't have a lot of patience, you know. But they've improved a tremendous amount. So we're on the right track. I don't know if I came in and I said in 5 weeks exactly where we want to be.
Right.
But what we do have is we have very good attendance, okay, which was an issue based on what the coaches have told me here. And I do want to say we've got a handful of really good football coaches in the athletic period doing a great job.
And you've kept a lot of the guys from the previous regime, or did you just kind of say, hey, listen, we're starting afresh and I'm bringing in new peeps?
Well, actually, Coach Kirk and his OC left before I ever got here, so that slot was open. And, of course, I brought in Coach Wheeler as the DC, but everybody else has an opportunity to get on board and be part of it because first thing I told the guys, I'm not here to get rid of anybody, but this is how we're going to do it. And I think they were ready for change. I mean, they've really been good, and